Two teams fighting to stay alive. CUSB Bologna versus Ragnarok. Here on Sky Magazine, I'm Brian Jones and Liam Rosen. Our coverage of the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships here in Lecco, Italy. A great game scheduled on today. Italy versus Denmark. And it's going to be a great one as we look at Bologna, who has to toe the fine line between intensity and anger, Liam.
This CUSB Bologna team seen in white there on your screen, huddling up, known for their fiery temper. As the Italian stereotype goes, they know they bring a lot of passion and intensity to games. They have to make sure, Brian, that they don't melt down. Captain Davide Mori, known especially for having shaped the temperament of this team through his many years as captaining and bringing Ultimate into schools around Bologna. He's already had a couple incidents so far in this tournament. Hopefully he'll be able to keep his cool in this game and make sure that CUSB can maintain that fine line between tension and melting down.
Maury has tried out for several U.S. teams in the past, including GOAT, Revolver, and also looked into Ironside. On the other side, we have Ragnarok out of Copenhagen, Denmark, and they have some great pickups coming over from Double Wide Jeff Lascorn. We have Kieran Thomas, Mike Nattenberg, Jared Wolf, and also our own at Sky Magazine, Elliot Trotter. They've had a hard path so far, making it through as their goal, as Matt Spakagar told us, was to get to the round of 16. And they have been working consistently to shape this offense through the influence of those double-wide guys, as it looks like they will be starting out on offense. Ragnarok in the black, CUSB Bologna in the white, and we're ready to get set here on Sky Magazine. Final round of the day, power pools. Winner moves on to pre-quarters. Winner go home. Mastroianni set to pull, and we're off here in power pools in the men's division of the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships.
You'll notice, Brian, that Ragnarok doesn't stack their offensive line with double-wide players as we see a pick call on the field. They are mostly keeping it in the family, as it were, guys that practice regularly with Ragnarok. One exception is Alex Craig, player that plays for Fire of London but has practiced with Ragnarok this season.
Characteristically, they love to shoot a deep pass intended for Craig. And Ragnarok will be forced to defend on their first possession.
Esben Hög, who threw that deep shot, is a teammate of Alex Craig's on Fire of London. That is where that connection came from. Hög started out playing with Ragnarok, then moved to London.
Francini picks up the disc for Bologna. Looking for the option. Long inside break. Agaloni. Warren Toto. Mastroianni deep to the end zone for the fourth score of the game. Bologna on top.
Lady throw to the end zone. Lasse Gael not able to get the D. So a bit of an uncharacteristic decision, or maybe unorganized decision from CUSB, but it works out for them as that blading huck goes up from Mastroianni.
We expect to see Bologna utilize the quick movements and then look for the huck opportunity, especially on offense. Here's their defensive line, as we know, is stacked 16 deep and 11 reserved for the offensive line. Joining the field now for Ragnarok, we see double-wide pickups, Kieran Thomas and Jeff Lascorn. Thomas has been downfield cutting throughout the week. Lascorn back, usually getting center too. This going out of play.
The game advisors are calling something. I'm not sure what the confusion was, but I think the pole will be bricked anyway. The double wide connection here for Ragnarok. Many fans and players wondered about that before the tournament. 4 of these players coming over.
Lascorn picks up. Thomas juking in the middle. Now forced to go back. Physicality in the mark. Boos. Foul downfield. As Thomas makes the catch. This one will likely go back. Play about to restart after the discussion. Checks back in, going deep, looking for Lascorn. Over the top, makes the catch. On the goal line. Looking for an option, has to flip it for the goal. Ragnarok ties it up.
Lascorn to Esben Hug. Tommaso Francini with the height difference against Lascorn, not able to get up for the D. So Ragnarok equalizes.
Tied at 1s early in this game. Ragnarok relies on the Hucks, especially from a bailout position. Now their defense will take the field, and we'll see what they can utilize.
And the double wide connection, stay with me, folks, because this one might be a bit complicated, actually comes from a Frenchman, Face Mbaye, who we haven't seen tech the field yet. But Face originally started playing in France, near the Paris area, moved in search of competitive ultimate. His wife is Danish, actually plays for the Copenhagen Hucks, who appeared in our stream yesterday. And he, in search of even reaching greater heights, came to the United States to try and play with double wide. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL that season, had a string of bad luck. Wasn't able to play too much, but made friends with all these guys. And when he returned to Denmark, brought them back, offered them the opportunity to come and play with Ragnarok.
Knowing to see Davide Mori cutting downfield. Bid doesn't get there. Randy gets it off. Now swinging. Falling down backhand along the sideline. Gavelli. Martzo. Now in the center of the field. Mori trying to do work, marked up against Wolf. Fading break. Confusion by Bologna. Ragnarok with a chance to get it back. And we'll see another double wide player not to pick up, actually. Nattenberg will take the stack. Alstead goes deep for Nattenberg. Nattenberg all alone. Tips. Gets the D.
Great work by Giovanni Santucci to fake tank out, make him double jump, and not able to catch up for it. Santucci making sure that disc was successfully D'd.
Nattenberg wide open in the end zone at first. Disc hanging too much. Defender makes the play. Santucci gets it back for Bologna.
Michael Nattenberg, United States World Games team star, came up big in the final for them. Former University of Texas tough player, finished up at Texas in 2005.
Played with double wide, very important for that title run. Mori with his first touch of the game. Looking for an option. Nearly turned. Nudie. Bologna liking the breaks. Grundy looking back for Mori. Not much movement. Mori putting it deep. Looking for Gavelli. Multiple defenders there. Gavelli rips it down. And turns it over on the goal line.
Not a great start for either team.
Ragnarok nearly gives it back. Lindström. Alstead to Nattenberg. Wolf is deep. Alstead. Holsters. Still looking deep, does not look dumb. Okaris. And a big D right in front of Wolf. Wolf never saw it coming.
And he also didn't run through that disc. He was walking to it.
Nudie up the line. Mori took a shot earlier. This Bologna team has had trouble moving. Marzo holding the disc out, looking frustrated for some cuts and calling the play.
Bologna bringing it big on defense so far.
Nudie gets it off. Parenti. Venta. Looks break side, floats one out. Will it stay in? Yes! Bologna 2-1.
Andrea Gavelli, who had the nice sky earlier, but the turnover makes up for it by bringing that one in. Gavelli is one of Bologna's pickup players at this tournament. He generally plays for Costa Rica, which is frequently the second squad in Italy, based out of Rimini, where the famous Paganello tournament is held. Gavelli has been a mainstay handler on various national teams in the United States. Gavelli, lots of experience, 30 years old now. Bologna is really a club that's invested in their youth. They have a number of youth teams at CUSB. Red Bulls frequently play, now actually competing not just in the Juniors Championship, but also in the second division of Italy. We saw 4 of these players that have now been selected to compete with Bologna reach the semifinals at the World Junior Ultimate Championships just 2 weeks ago in this same city of Lecco.
High hanging pole. Centered to Loscorn. Poaching the lane prevents it from going to Backegard. So looking for Thomas. Mastroianni near D. Backegard. Putting this one deep. To the end zone for the score.
Steps. Peter Hoer with steps on defender David Pimenta. And a nice shot there from captain Mads Backegard. Backegard founded this team 20 years ago. He's been playing and leading the team for that long. Think about that in American perspective, as we think about these double-wide players in the roster. There are very few club teams in the United States that stay around for 20 years, but the European model encourages it with clubs that form and are recognized by their national governments, with elected officers, presidents, treasurers, not just teams that can form and go away from year to year.
A rich tradition here in Bologna. As the host team said, they felt pressure, needed to at least make it to the round of 16. I feel like they made their accomplishment, and as you alluded to, the youth movement coming through, and a number of players coming from the U23 team that just finished 4th at World Juniors. Schroeder with the pole. This is centered. Nudie, side stack. They hit the break side shot. Looking for Mori along the sideline. Mori, blade to the end zone. Mori with the vision, finding the strike.
Play how you practice, and if Bologna practices that shot, they are very familiar with it. Davide Mori creating offensive opportunities for his team.
Just a little bit of hesitation by the defender, thinking that the receiver was too deep. Mori. It's not been very windy here all week long since we've had a rain out. You can see the flags blowing in the background at the top of the stands as fans will gather here for their support of their local team. Take a look at the replay. Mori is going to take his time. You get a great view of the defender thinking it's not coming. Boos waiting for the opportunity.
That play all started with the over-committing layout from Lars Beck. He didn't need to lay out there. That was too late. He took a while to get back up and get adjusted. Davide took advantage of not having a mark on.
Mastroianni puts it deep. And Lascorn will start with the disc in the center. So it won't be Lascorn. Ragnarok will take it at the brick. And we see formations of a zone starting here for Bologna. Thomas and Backergaard communicating.
It's going to be a three-man cup.
Looks very familiar to the Swedish zone we've seen from Vixafor. Nearly turning into 4 people around the disc at one point in time. Thomas strikes deep. Boos. Backergaard. Quick dish. Lascorn goes to the ground, gets the catch and the goal.
Both teams' offenses gelling well so far, staying equal.
Here 3-3 on Sky Magazine. You're getting yourself a free preview along with this game of Globetrotter. As Elliot Trotter's actually in the process of playing with Ragnarok, and a project that we've talked about a number of times here on Sky Magazine. We'll be filming in about all of his training with Copenhagen and the city itself. Be sure to check that out. UltimateGlobetrotter.com. 3-3 at this point, Liam. We've seen Ragnarok strike deep and not too much of a quick movement from Bologna. They've been stifled there and have relied on bailouts and Blady Hucks.
Side stack from CUSB.
Nudie swings. This nearly pops up.
They tried to isolate Mori, but there's a junk defense being played from Ragnarok.
Martso. See through the cup and quick movement. Mori gets it off to Martso. Arinetti. Cavelli made a couple of catches. Nudie. CUSB very much like the breaks as they get it to the fore side. Martso. Foul on the mark.
Very close mark from Carlson.
That restarts quickly. Mori. Quick dish. Mori and Nattenborg matched up. And we'll keep track of Davide Mori throughout this entire game. Stagnation. I stall. Out to space. Martso. Nudie. Ariente to the end zone. Hammer. Wide open. Over the shoulder.
Andrea Gavelli for his second reception of the game. Actually, Hammer went over the wrong shoulder. He was able to track the disc, look over his right shoulder, and make the catch. Very good read.
Bologna with the, and CUSB with the unconventional throws to start out this game. 4-3 they lead. Some other meaningful games going on. Vixafor facing off against Phoenix. Phoenix with a surprise upset earlier today of Buzz Bullets, 14-13. Determine who moves on. A lot of the other teams have already secured a place in pre-quarters.
And we'll keep you updated throughout this game. There are effectively a lot of other elimination games going on right now between the second and the third seed in the power pools. How it works is power pools of 3, and only the top 2 seeds will advance to the round of 16.
Be sure to tweet at us at Brian Jones at no_look_scuba and Sky_Liam Rosen. Take all of your shout outs here on Sky Magazine. Discus centered. Vertical stack. Back a guard. Streaks deep. Now comes underneath. Looking back.
Cragg is working with his Fire of London teammate Hug.
Has receiver deep, already too deep. Hook. Krag. Bakagad. Quick dish. One more, out to space for the goal.
Alex Kragg with a nice dishy backhand to Frederick Yezhoy. Frederick with certainly the largest number we've seen on the Ultimate field so far, number 101. Brian, are there any limitations on how high your jersey number can actually be?
I have not seen any limitations. I would imagine it's as many as you can fit.
Why not make your jersey number over 9,000?
All smiles here on Sky Magazine. 4-4.
Or 000. We've seen a 000, several 00s before. Zuluaga from Oso, where's 00?
Well, I think the 00 is actually a case of showing that you're not just a 10 or whatnot. They can read that you have a 00 as opposed to just a single.
That's very smart for them to keep the commentators like us in mind.
Well, I've got to say, we've got to congratulate the teams while we're on this pitch about the numbers on their jerseys. Very readable, not white on white like we've seen from other teams.
In fact, the Ragnarok guys actually printing names, or nicknames at least, in the back of their jerseys, which is a big help.
Elliot Trotter set to pull. This one will fade towards the back.
Big pull from Trotter. Hits the back of the end zone on that one.
Maury puts it deep. It's going to hang, and it will go straight out of bounds.
Maury with lots of power sometimes loses control of those hucks. We watched Maury and this CUSB team play against Free Speed, Brian, in the finals of 2012 Windmill Windup.
Well, do you remember the halftime contest with the poles? I think he must have thrown it 150 yards out the back of the end zone.
Davide Maury, very strong, very experienced player. He's been playing Ultimate for 15 years.
Nattenberg. Throw to space. Macaris putting it deep. Maury over the top. Caught. Gottlieb. To Nattenberg for the score, and the break, 5-4. Ragnarok leads.
And Gottlieb reaches up with the left hand. Mats Gottlieb patting Maury on the back, almost forgetting to celebrate until he hears the roars of his teammates. So Ragnarok pumped up about that one. Mats Gottlieb played in the American Ultimate Disc League, semi-professional league this year with the Vancouver Riptide. And also lived in Mexico for a short time, where he found himself playing with the Mexican Open team at Under-23 Worlds in Toronto.
Take a look at the replay. Davide Maury makes the best play he possibly can. Difficult place to defend when the throw is going over the top of the stack to the break side.
Gottlieb as well with the height advantage. One of the tallest players on the field, maybe except for David Pimenta, the Portuguese pickup, who's Bologna's only non-Italian player.
Senders to Nudi. Straight up marks and sagging in the lanes. Bit of a clam defense. Llorente to Nudi. And they'll swing it around. Marzo. You can hear the counting as they will transition in a moment. Near layout D. Mori hangs on. Santucci. Mastroianni. Only a stalwart of the defensive line. Laurenti. Foul call on the mark. Game is on serve. Ragnarok starting out an offense, getting broken in the first point. And close plays. Santucci comes down with it. Laurenti. Cavelli. Ripped down a couple of hucks. Intended deep receiver. Nudi. Ragnarok really focusing on Mori. He's come back near the handlers to get the disc. Nudi, inside break. Caught. Cavelli. To the end zone. Santucci reaches up for it.
Cavelli has been the star of this game so far. Smart decisions and great receptions in the end zone. Although not normally from this Bologna team, all these players know him from having played with him on the Italian national teams. This is a fantastic pickup for CUSB as they equalize here to bring the game to 5-5.
5-5, game to 15 today. We'll have half at 8. Shortened rounds as a result of the cancellation on Sunday. You can see the condition of the fields have been getting drier and drier. We have a little bit of sawdust left over from day one where it was just a mud fest. They flew in a helicopter, Liam, on Sunday to try to get the water off of the fields. And while there was no shortage of rain for a while, we actually ran out of water at the fields yesterday. So we take a look at the catch. Cavelli and pops it over the top. Santucci with a hop, skip, and a jump for the goal.
The town pumps apparently ran dry. Luckily, half of the tournament is serviced by a different town, so half of the pumps have water and half don't. I believe they've actually fixed the issue by now.
Mori on defense. Says he'll be the one calling the lines when he thinks it's time for a break. This is centered. Bakagard in motion off of a side stack. Quick dish. Hoos. Fakes out his mark. Bakagard. Typical vertical stack movement. You see the dump swing utilized. Ragnarok has been working on this throughout the week. The influence from the double wide guys.
Mads Bakagard himself, along with Face, came to play for double wide, was on their roster in 2011. Ragnarok also came to the United States in 2012 to play the U.S. Open.
Got a chance to compete with some of the very best. Floating one out to space. Wide open. Ragnarok leads 6-5.
Alex Craig, the pickup from Fire of London, also played with the beach national team, Great Britain, last year that won a silver medal.
It's 6-5. This game has been moving along pretty steadily. We've seen breaks from both sides. How is CUSB doing on that intensity versus anger?
I think CUSB has been doing a great job staying level. No blow-ups so far. I think games with Bologna can oftentimes get chippy. We'll see as the game starts to get down the line how it runs out. But so far, very intense defense. We've seen a couple layouts, but players still playing very well.
Here a little bit of Davide Mori, actually from our sideline mic.
I find this interesting. You can't see it, but players are actually soaping themselves down. There's a bucket of soap on the sideline, and there's a bucket of chalk. So you have one player soaping down his thighs and another player applying chalk to his hands.
Whatever it takes to win. I'm Brian Jones here with Liam Rosen on Sky Magazine. Elliot Trotter set the poll 6-5, 2 points away from half for Ragnarok. On serve here in Lecco, Italy, at the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships. Nudi, wide open middle of the field to work with, but nobody cutting underneath. Nudi, the space. You see how the cutting lanes are opening up. Gavelli looking deep. Over the top of some defenders, tipped for the D, and a foul will be called. Santucci, the intended receiver.
Retracted foul immediately, and that's the right call. There was no foul on that play.
Andreessen, the big man, co-captain, goes up. Nattenberg will walk slowly to it. Trotter sets the stack. Classic vertical stack. You see the dump lining up on the open side at 45 degrees, and we'll have a timeout as Ragnarok wants to talk it over. 6-5 here on Sky Magazine. I'm Brian Jones with Liam Rosen. We'll be right back.
Okay, so be sure to look both sides if it goes up.
But also, if it's not up, you know that I'm hitting these guys. And now Here we go. Hey, this is our block. Come on, guys, get it. Rock on three.
If I do get the disc, guys, I'm just looking to get it away from me, okay?
Perfect. Okay. Rock on three. 1, 2, 3.
Rock!
Back at the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships, Ragnarok leads CUSB 6-5, looking for the extra break to go up by 2 in the late stages of the first half.
This is a key opportunity for Ragnarok. Going up by more than 1 into halftime is a big momentum changer. That's why we see their first time out of the game.
And right off the bat, they ran the zipper play. They call it Moses, and CUSB knew exactly where it was coming. Trotter reaches behind him to make the grab. Looking for options. This is where Ragnarok has gotten into trouble on the sideline. Paris up the line. Hey, going deep. Can he stay in? Yes, for the break.
And Okare's risky decision just jams it right up the sideline and face lucky enough to make that catch. Defender not able to catch up.
7-5. Ragnarok takes a bit of control. 2 breaks to 1 here in this game to advance to the round of 16.
Bologna becoming a hot spot for Ultimate. CUSB is a team with a rich history. Over 22 years old. It was founded in 1992. by a group of Costa Rica players from Rimini who came to study in Bologna. Now a flourishing club with a multitude of juniors programs. And this generation, all thanks to the work of one Davide Mori. He's been playing with the club for a long time, has gone into schools. Essentially, Ultimate is his life and his job as he travels around Bologna teaching Ultimate to kids. He's one of the reasons for the strong juniors development in Italy.
Pull from Ragnarok. Chance to take half. Bologna needs to respond before this game can get out of reach. New handler lineup. Ricci Bitti. Mastroianni.
Ragnarok still in their zone.
Poachy look with man defense and one person deep.
Broke down a little bit there as Bologna able to get free.
Mori calls the foul. Jared Wolf on the mark, double wide player. Ragnarok focusing in on this matchup. Say they've done a pretty good job so far. Mori with 1 assist, a couple of other miscues. Francini, Mastroianni, Kalanka, Mori.
Very physical work from Lost Corner.
Forced to go back, losing yards. Ricci Bitti. Tonetti, one of the U23 members, or U19 rather. Inside break. Mastroianni. Blade to the back of the end zone. What else? 7-6.
Nice find from Mastroianni as the Ragnarok players had to give up on that one. He just put it right into the correct space near that back far cone.
(7-6). Ragnarok's offense takes the field. Kieran Thomas hopping on with Loscorn. Taking a look at the replay. Nettie, inside break. Mastroianni, casual forehand. Play about to start. Mori on the defensive line. The spin pull.
Might be the all-star defensive line that Mori talked about before, probably called by him. They've got David Pimenta out there, their pickup from Portugal.
Call on the play.
Pimenta, considered the best player in Portugal, was a giant factor on Portugal's beach national team at the European Beach Ultimate Championships last year. Has played for Capau in the United Kingdom in the open season and now picking up with Bologna.
Craig going deep. Back of guard, drifting towards the sideline. Can back guard make a play on it? Pushed from behind. And that's going to be a call of some sort.
Bakkegaard not happy about whatever that call is. It could have been a force out. That's a tough call to make, as the question is, would he have been able to toe the line had the contact not come from Mastroianni? I think Craig, though, is going to want to take that throw back. Flick Huck floated a bit too high and was double helixing and drifting out of bounds in the far end zone.
Not sure in the discussion in this play whether or not they're calling. There's two points to consider In the USA Ultimate with an observer, that would be an automatic force-out ruling. So they're going to talk here to the game advisors and figure it out. Game advisors for the first time here at World Ultimate Club Championship. So we take a look at the play. Back of guard, close, and I think he's got a case.
I think in Ultimate, this is a limited contact sport. The defender has the onus to avoid contact. Mastriani did not do that. I think Bakkegaard has a very good case here for a force out.
And we'll see in a minute whether or not they can resolve this with themselves. And
for anyone watching this game for the first time, Liam Kelly there in the yellow shirt is one of the World Flying Disc Federation game advisors. His job is to provide perspective on the play, help the players reach a better and more timely decision. This is a new initiative from WFTIF to prevent these long discussions that often happen without outside supervision in many key games. Take another look at this play. I think the more I look at it, absolutely a foul. Absolutely a force out. I think Bakkegaard would have been able to toe the line.
So they'll continue to discuss here, and this is where something needs to be moved along a little bit faster. But as we're here, tweet at us. It's the end of the first half. We want to know what your thoughts are about this game. Here, I'm Brian Jones with Liam Rosen. No Look Scuba. Skied_Liam Rosen. Here on Twitter. Waiting for your shout-outs as it comes up on the screen for us. Here of our coverage of Worlds 2014. And more discussion ensues. And they're going to rule the goal. That will be half for Ragnarok after a long discussion. And that, what a lot of people will say, is a win for spirit of the game. A good discussion taking place. The game advisor helping out. We'll have to check in there if we can with Liam Kelly about what exactly went on. So we take a look again here. So in this first half, Ragnarok gets off to a poor start. It's broken right away, but able to settle down and use their double wide guys effectively. Bologna with a couple of questions about their execution and offense, which Davide Mori said wasn't working too well coming into this game, Liam.
I think Bologna was performing better on defense. I don't especially believe, though, that Bologna is playing poorly by any means. I think this is still anybody's game. This is a 2-point game. Both of these teams known for ability to come back, make mistakes. We'll see in the second half how the flow of the game is going to even out. As CUSB, during halftime, giving some words of encouragement, wanting to come back on Ragnarok. This is essentially a game that will determine who advances and who doesn't, potentially.
Yeah, and looking at the other, we see a potential Furious versus Sakai matchup in the quarters maybe happening. Buzz Bullets perhaps against Ironside in the pre-quarters. The Buzz Bullets losing their game to Phoenix, assuming Phoenix takes care of business. And we're going to go down to the field after a little bit of highlight package here and have an interview. Stick with us on Sky Magazine. We'll be back with second half action. Brian Jones and Liam Rosen, Worlds 2014.
Hi from the fields. I'm standing here with David, Bologna's player. The game has not been going according to your expectation, I suppose, so far.
Yes, not exactly. So we came out strong. We were able to break him on the first point, and then we kept trading, and it was 5-4, and they broke us. They scored and broke us twice in a row. So they are 2 points ahead. We need to take it back.
Is there anything specifically that you guys are going to talk about that you want to change for the second half?
Okay, our defense needs to step up. Right now, we're too mellow, and we need to get some Bologna spirit back of just playing some hard defense and lay out at everything.
Thank you, David. I'll let you go back to your team. Thanks for the interview. I was going to show you some of his apps, but he refused before the interview, so I apologize for that. We'll be back after halftime.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Ultimate Globetrotter. We're here on Boracay Island in the Philippines, home of the Beach Ultimate Kings of Asia, the fierce and speedy Boracay Dragons. thinks running on the sand is going to get easier, but it doesn't. So we are on our way to check out some cockfighting.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Boracay Open has always been the turf of the Dragons.
Most of the players are based here in the island. It's second nature to them to run on the beach.
When we train almost every day.
High knees in the water, swimming, sprinting on the beach. Do this after every single practice.
You know, it's what they do. They're beach ultimate players.
Movement is like a 1 and 2.
The only thing we ask from them is to train. Train hard and play hard.
Come on, younger boy.
You have to think that this is already the championship game.
You have to aggressively send their kite back to 12, pull the bar.
We're here at Mandala Spa and Villas, about to receive an world-class massage.
It's not just about the game, it's also about our lifestyle here in the island.
The Dragons are the beach kings of Asia and maybe the world soon. It's now time also for us to share to the world what we know about Beach Ultimate.
Yo. It worked out, yeah. I was not expecting. I thought we were going into like a slide mode. I thought we were going into a slide That's what I thought as well. Yeah, that's what I thought as well. So, I don't need to say I can point one way or the other. Okay, so how about I'll do this? I'm going to go here. Actually, right, let's just say we're planning to still take the interview on the west side, say here. Okay? If I say here, we'll give you the highlights. Otherwise, back to the lower field. After
una cosa, abbiamo 35 minuti, abbiamo 30 minuti, abbiamo 4 giocatori da bloccarli, i due caricati, il ragazzo di colore, il capitano della Volai e il boscaiolo e un altro, sono 4. Dobbiamo trovare il modo di bloccarli, non possiamo più purtroppo switchare se sta verso. Voglio sentirlo presto, adesso spartono giù. Dillo.
Cello, Massa, Jerry, Leo.
Io voglio Cello che parli con me, Massa che parla con chi marca sempre quello di colore, Cello parla con quello che marca il boscaiolo, lo prendi in istituto quando richiamo me lo dici. L'altro chi è? Massa mi parla con quello di colore, Jerry mi parla con quello dei Double Wide e l'ultimo che sa che bisogna rifare un altro che sa quello sempre Mastro, Baglio, Ivan qua, parla con l'ultimo che è? Leo. Dovete dirci cosa fanno perché loro richiamano, fanno il mostro con la testa, non lanciano più, questi vengono verso e hanno le mani buone.
Back at the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships on Sky Magazine here in Lecco, Italy. I'm Brian Jones with Liam Rosen. CUSB down by 2, receiving an offense against Ragnarok. And it's anybody's game, Liam. CUSB trying to toe the line between that intensity and anger, as we talked about. We'll see what they can do in the second half.
Bologna down by 2, but on offense, so Ragnarok is only up 1 break. Bologna immediately into a pool play. They're going to isolate Gavelli.
Gavelli has been the yin to Mori's yang. Tosi. Marzo. Nudi in the center. Laurenti. Nudi back to Laurenti. Now looking for Marzo, not taking the swing continuation. Gavelli was cutting. Fakes up line. Quick movement. Mori. Marked by Wolf.
I'm really impressed by, as we have a call in the field. Foul called.
We see 4 white players around the disc and crowding options at this moment. Not a lot of space to move. Mori, and a call on the play.
I'm impressed by the way Mori is playing. A lot of times he feels, I think, that he has to do too much for Bologna. I think it was like that 2 or 3 years ago when some of these players aren't as experienced, as they've really brought more and more juniors on board that have been playing Ultimate for 6-7 years. Mori hasn't had to do as much. He's been able to spread out his work.
Another blade to the end zone. Gavelli gets another goal. CUSB brings it within 1.
So, like I said, still anybody's game. Bologna getting the work done on offense. Ragnarok is still only up 1 break. That could come at any time. Stands here are filling up as games finish. Players finish eating dinner, walking around, watching. This matchup was going to determine who advances to pre-quarterfinals tomorrow. 24 teams. It's going to be 8 power pools of 3. The top 2 from each power pool will advance as we see the replay. Mori to Gavelli.
It's unconventional, but unconventional can work in these situations. Hard for offenses to ride it out through an entire game, let alone an entire tournament. Mori sensing urgency, playing both ways here on D-line.
Colony will emerge as the top seed from this pool. They've beaten both Ragnarok and Bologna.
Last round of the day here on Sky Magazine. All of our matchups tomorrow to be determined. As we get set, Mori Lascorn will pick it up. Looking deep, a fiery flick to the end zone. Too far.
Thought he was going to catch it. That's a very tough catch to make. But Christopher Boos got one hand on it.
Ragnarok makes the first mistake of the second half. As you said, it's anybody's game, a chance. As Francini is going to walk to it slowly. No fast break offense here for Bologna.
Both teams are playing well. Ragnarok, to be honest, usually makes a lot more mistakes than this. They're playing very efficient offensively. That was a risky shot, flew a bit low. So far, though, their offense doing work as Mastroianni gets free.
Mori. And bumping from back of guard. Calls the foul.
And Bakagard's mark is very close. I think Mori has a good point here. Calls another foul.
And this is something we've talked about and remarked upon, is that in North American Ultimate, a lot more physicality downfield, which is accepted. And we see in this European Ultimate a lot closer physical marks trying to intimidate the thrower. Mori puts it back. Francini and another call.
It's going to be a pick downfield.
Game slowing to a halt. Mori. Tipped. And indeed by his own receiver trying to go for it.
I think he was trying to go up with one hand to secure the disc. Cantu not able to make a play.
Lascorn along the sideline. Boos continues, tipped. Thomas. For Lascorn. Tight coverage.
Ragnarok continuing to just work it up the open side.
Lascorn looking for any option. Flips to Thomas for the goal, and a foul called. Some physicality. Liam, you think that's a good call?
I'm not sure about the call. I was shaking my head, though. Lascorn was looking at switching the field, but looked off the dump for some reason. I think he saw Thomas cutting up line and just wanted to dish it to him for the goal, but they're going to have to do it again.
Back of guard on the far side being marked tightly. Lascorn now goes for the dump. Quick switch. Keeps it moving. Foul. Inside break. Lascorn back. Tries to pivot for the inside. Now gets it for the goal. 9-7 Ragnarok.
Lascorn doing a good job of throwing through contact to keep Ragnarok with a 2-point lead.
Mori a little ticked off. They had the possession to tie the game. And the offense will take the field. Bologna hasn't had too much of a problem scoring without Davide Mori on the field.
They've got a very deep team. They have 28 players on their roster. They're very physically fit. We were actually talking to their physical fitness trainer, Rocco Di Michele, before the game. He doesn't have an ultimate background, but he's known Mori for many years. The team has brought him on this year to prepare them physically for the season and for this tournament. They do a lot of sprint workouts. He says he has them doing small-sided games. Not too much lifting, just to build a base before the season.
And 9-7 Nattenberg flips it around, getting set to pull.
You hear on the far sideline, the Copenhagen Hucks have shown up. This is the Copenhagen women's team. Many of them friends with the Ragnarok players.
Nattenberg pulls it out of bounds. And looks like a zone setup coming.
So that'll be taken back up to the brick mark.
The handler defenders are going to sag in the lane with a straight-up mark. Tonetti. Nudi.
You can hear Ragnarok counting the passes. It looks like they're going to transition out of the zone at some point.
Parente striking deep. Defender has good position. Runs into each other, and that will be a foul. Unlikely to be contested. And
Auguries is saying that the CUSB player Calabrese ran into him.
Namberg coming into play here, trying to tell him what both happened. Both vying for the disc. Looked like Santucci had position at the time of contact. Auguries was initiating it.
Again, in World Flying Disc Federation rules, the onus is on the defender to avoid contact. Ultimate is an offense-driven sport. If there is any doubt, and this has been clarified by Ruben Berg, and that's clearly a foul from Auguries. If there's any doubt, the impetus is on the defense to avoid the foul. Dish should stay with the offense. Now the question here is whether the receiver had a chance to make a play on the disc. If not, it may be fair to send the disc back. But Liam Kelly, the game advisor, had a very good view on that play. He's going to help the two players sort it out.
Looks like this will end up being contested.
Contested foul. And I think if you're not sure that Calabrese was going to catch up to the disc, that's Santucci, 27, not Calabrese. If you're not sure that Santucci was going to catch up and make a play on the disc, that's a fair call. Send the disc back.
Llorente. Dishes it back. Underneath. And a D by Nattenberg.
Nattenberg was just sitting there in the lane. They threw it right into him.
Trotter. Call downfield. Play restarts. Trotter up the line. Nattenberg fakes the hammer. Stuck on the sideline, looking for any option. Inside to Trotter. Trotter fakes the around. To Nattenberg. Now to Trotter. Trotter goes for the end zone. Contacted on the mark. Coming back.
Elliott doing a good job of working with Tank in that handler set, dishing off, going up line. About 5 meters off from the end zone now.
A little bit more discussion. There starts Trotter. The end zone wide open. No pick on the play. Ragnarok breaks.
Simple miscommunication from Bologna as Auguries got free. You can't let a defender get free in the end zone that easily. And Trotter just able to slide the blade up the far sideline. Ragnarok takes their biggest lead of the game, 10-7 over Bologna.
Starting to stretch that lead, much to the chagrin of the home crowd and the home team.
Bologna has been on a steady increase over the last few years. They finished 7th at the European Ultimate Club Championships last year in Bordeaux. Their goal is to get into the top 16 as well as Ragnarok. Both teams have set their goal as being one of those top 16 teams in the world. Several of these players actually study sports science at Bologna University, and Several of them are also writing their master's thesis on training for Ultimate.
Alstead with the pole. Ragnarok with the 3-point lead.
They're not wearing them right now, but in other games they're wearing tracking devices that allow them to track how many steps they take and how far they run in an average game, as Mori flips it up and gets fouled. Started off with a side stack that isolated Davide.
Santucci. Out to space. Lorente. Kopi. Inside. Gets it off. Mori. Flip. End zone score. And call on the play. Some discussion going on here. Mastroianni, I believe, being called for the travel by Lindskog.
It's going to be a retracted call. So goal is ruled. Bologna's offensive line gets it done. And Mori having some words with Davide Quarantono.
Bologna needing to rally. Game to 15. Winner will make it onto the round of 16.
They need their defensive line to do the work here.
And besides a few miscues from Ragnarok, it has not been a lot of pressure from CUSB that has forced some turnovers. Mori playing both sides of the disc. This is the round they wanted to make it into after this round of 16. At this point, it's merely a game or a few points that separates both teams from achieving their goals.
Mori's going to stay on for this defensive point along with Mastroianni.
Mori spin pull once again. Disc is centered. Bakagard. Bust deep. Gore. For an option, floats it up, caught. And
pushed in the back.
Looks like an injury. This will go back. Coming in on 0. Looks like there was also another foul downfield. Fakes deep. Quick dish. Hoos. Slices one. Too far. Bologna with a chance.
And those are those typical Ragnarok errors that we've seen from this team over the past few years as they've played at European Ultimate Championship finals. They love to throw it deep, but sometimes their handlers feel like they need to do too much.
Francini. A hand block near the end zone, Ragnarok.
Peter Hur grabs the hand block.
Dial.
Ragnarok is clustered. That near sideline, Gaio puts it up to space. That's a hard catch to make.
And no dump scheme. And
no dump at all. They need to switch the field.
Mori tries to pick it up in his own end zone, trying to start play. Doesn't provide too much of an advantage if they get it out. Francini.
There's a poach. Francini with no mark. Something is actually happening. That explains why Francini didn't have a mark. Disc is going all the way back and will remain with Mori at the front of the end zone.
Looks like there was a travel call. Mori had to bring it up. May have started to bring it up. I'm not sure if I didn't see what exactly happened here. Beckegaard calling the travel. So still discussion of where people should set up. Mori to Francini.
Cries of Callahan from the sidelines as Bologna's in their own end zone, and a layout hand block from Mats Beckegaard. 2 hand blocks and 1 point from Ragnarok.
The timeout called, trying to tone down the excitement here on the field. Ragnarok will take a break and try to work it in.
Hvem er vi har vinderhandleren? Hey, prøv lige at høre. Esben, du er frisk med en forstår, ikke? Geil, du er dom. Nej, undskyld, Jonathan dom. Geil, du er etter. Jeg er femmer. Han dækker mig op. Han går benhårdt på alt hver cutter. Så jeg prøver stille og roligt. Prøv at give mig lidt smule kaster ned i zonen. Jeg cutter stille og roligt. Jeg laver et meget tydeligt cut. Og så kaster du først, når jeg er fri. Skarp upside eller skarp kniv. Okay? Hvis det ikke... Hvad? Nå, roligt. Så kigger vi på mig. Hvis ikke det lykkes, så kigger vi bare rundt på hændler og dommer. Okay? Gør det her, gutter! Ja, men gør det.
Ragnarok comes back in as we take a look at the replay. WUCC getting the actual D, stealing it from Beckegaard. Ooh. Beckegaard, Mori. Beckegaard makes the catch on the sideline. And foul called on the mark.
Contested foul.
Beckegaard, high stall, looking for the hammer, puts one up, Hospital, tipped, caught for the goal!
Lasse Geil, following the play, lays out one hand for the hammer catch off the tip disc.
(11-8), Ragnarok leads over CUSB.
And that may well be a key point in the game, even though it was technically a mistake from Ragnarok. It was great defense by Bologna. You really can't do more than that. Just some great awareness by Lasse Geil to follow the play and grab that disc.
Could be a backbreaker. Bologna has not looked down on themselves at all during this game. And take a look again. You could see him just coiling up for that hammer. And tipped. Reading the tip. Oh my goodness. Thanks to our replay crew and all our cameramen, Mike Palmer on the replay assistant.
So Copenhagen Hucks, the women's team, getting loud on the sideline as the pull goes up.
Nudie. Laurenti. Mastroianni in the center to Mori. Mori fakes deep. Cavalli was too deep as a cutter. Mastroianni is not. A bullet of a backhand. Mastriani walks it in.
Bologna brings it to within 2. The perfect tuck to Andrea Mastriani. He was the captain of the Italian U23 Open team this last year at Under-23 World Championships in Toronto.
As we get closer to the end of this game, as we approach potentially cap, it is a +1 scenario to the highest score after we reach 85 minutes. You can see the clock on our screen. 11-9, and how do you match a big play off the hammer catch, hammer tip? You come back with one of your own.
And you do it without having it be a mistake. You do it with efficient, perfect offense.
Only a couple throws needed to strike back. Shout out to the official photographer of the World Ultimate Club Championships, Ulti Photos. Be sure to check out all the great photos. We were just checking one out of Rio Kawoka on Revolver, getting horizontal on ultiphotos.com.
A wonderful full pull from Bologna. Puts the disc right in the back of the end zone.
Favorite target looking for Thomas. Thomas boxing out. Thomas rips it down. Back of guard. Has options for the score, Ragnarok. And we have a travel called back. Lascorn can't believe it. Yoshoid not wanting to give it back.
Kieran Thomas has made several of those plays before USA Ultimate Championships.
Just look at the double wide guys and Kieran Thomas, the length, the arms and the way that they extend down. Lascorn has it, Nattenberg, incredibly lanky dude. Maybe all of them could have been basketball players.
They talk about an ape index, which is the ratio of your wingspan to your height. A double wide, a very high ape index team.
Thomas underneath. Decides he doesn't like the glamour of the deep shot. Dilshoy. Ragnarok up the line. Lascorn stretches it. Looking for an option. Now up the line. Too high. Thomas is there once again. Stuck on the sideline. Ragnarok unable to get it off, and they just have not utilized the dump swing, Liam.
They've been stuck on the line far too many times, having to resort to things like hammers to get it off.
And more calls on the field. And we'll get restarted. And at the line, Thomas from the front. Thomas fakes. Yelchoy. To the end zone. Tipped. Indeed. Santucci. Intended for Lascorn.
So CUSB needs to bring it all the way down the field, but potentially a chance to bring it to within 1.
Gasparini from the U19 squad. Kalanka. Gasparini. And Mastriani underneath. Corontato.
Pick call on the field.
Discussion still ensuing on the account. We're here on Sky Magazine with the last round of pool play. CUSB versus Ragnarok. CUSB from Bologna, Italy. Ragnarok from Copenhagen, Denmark. Gasparini. Kalanka. To the sideline. Baglioni.
Suddenly Bologna's offense slowing down.
Lori tries to flip it. Mastriani makes the catch. Would have been coming back. And Some confusion as one of the defenders fell down. Bologna trying to fast break. Corin Toto flips it. Miscommunication. Mastroianni doesn't go up line for it.
Looks like there was a call in the field, though, before that. No call. I think they were thinking about making a call, but I don't think there was any call to make.
And Corin Toto toes that line of intensity and anger.
No mark on Okariz, finally adjusts.
Thomas. Bakagad. Thomas swings. Lascorn. And a call on the play. And another call as the game really slows down, maybe a violation.
We're about 6 minutes away from cap. Just a score update from you from some of the other Power Pools matches, and a game to advance to pre-quarters. East Midlands Open is up 12-9 on free speed. And the D from Bologna.
Santucci puts it in. Spikes the headband. CUSB back in it.
That is the spark Bologna needs. They grab the break. Ragnarok only up now by 1 point, hanging on to the lead they've had all game.
Eleven to 10, Ragnarok leads. Here at the 2014 World Ultimate Club Championships, I'm Brian Jones of Liam Rosen. Here in Sky Magazine in Lecco, Italy. Overcast sky, calm wind. The flags aren't moving. You can see it on top of the stands, and everybody's here watching this last round. The winner goes on to the round of 16.
Shout out to Double Wide, who are watching some of their players picking up with Ragnarok in this tournament. Just got a message on Twitter from them. If anyone else wants to tweet at us, you can find me Skied_Liam Rosen, or Brian Jones is no_look_scuba. You can actually find us as well at the main Skied Magazine account. There it is, our graphic. See our Twitter accounts on there as the poll out of bounds.
Lascorn will take it to the brick mark. Play restarts. Looking for Thomas, who fouled on the mark. Will Thomas come up with it still? Yes! Thomas gets it back. Bakagard. To the end zone for the score. Not in. Thomas thought it was a goal.
Ragnarok has to prove they can switch the field.
Some sideline.
Someone on the sideline saying he was clearly in. He did look into me. We had Sky correspondent David Price with a clear vote of that, as well as game advisor Liam Kelly.
after some discussion with the game advisor. And we'll start over.
So disc still with Bakkegaard right outside the end zone.
Bakkegaard flips it for the goal to Poos.
And that's a typical score from Mads Bakkegaard. Not being afraid to use some unconventional throws.
And that's game in this situation. Looks like they were using the old cap rules at 80 minutes.
I'm very surprised at that, as this game should usually goes on to 85 minutes, but that's the end of it. So Ragnarok advances to the round of 16.
And they'll do so in a tight game. Bologna, unfortunately, not reaching their goals. Slipped up after taking an early lead. Ragnarok taking it at 6-5. Winning 12-10. Maybe the difference in that game being that tipped hammer we saw from Mads Bakkegaard. Coiling up, putting up a hospital pass.
Lasse Geil coming on the other end to save it. So Ragnarok, great win for them, as their goal was to make it into this pre-quarters round. Bologna will be unhappy not to have reached their goal, but played a very good game. Very little errors from them, and a strong future for this CUSB Bologna program, as they've integrated junior development coming up through their ranks on a steady upward trend. Finished 7th at the European Championships in Bordeaux last year.
The unfortunate thing here is that one team will move on, the other team going home. Take a look at the Spirit Circle. This last play, little flip. Ragnarok moves on.
Ragnarok looking to improve on their 12th place finish at World Ultimate Club Championships in 2010.
Probably give you one step more than normal, and we understand how to block you.
Davide Murray, the situation. Doesn't like to be in here, a competitor. Bring a lot of fire.
In the middle of the game. At the end, we understand how to guard you, but it was too late. Our offense threw away 4 offense. We take back 2. We lost by 2. Also, we were stupid because we had the chance to stay in game 9-all with Colony this morning and did beat them. And we lost by 2 also. Enjoy your pre-quarter. Try to go in top 8 because you deserve to win, and see you in Europe without the American. But it doesn't matter, because this is World Championship. You can take 4, pick up 5. You have done a good choice, because I think we have to give the opportunity to each one to play a World Championship, and they play a good D and a good offense. Thank you very much for the game.
Of course, we are really happy to win this game. I guess we had a rematch on last year's Europeans, where you beat us. So yeah, thanks a lot for this game. Always enjoy playing you guys. It's always a battle, physical game. Good luck in the rest of the tournament. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll back to wrap up here as we took a look at the Spirit Circle. We're going to go down to the field now for an interview. For Liam Rosen, I'm Brian Jones, signing off here at the World Ultimate Club Championships 2014.
I'm here with Esben Hoch, the captain of Ragnarok. Well, you've just played against CUSB Bologna, and you obviously played them quite regularly in the European season. What sort of tactics did you come into that game trying to beat them with?
Well, I mean, we know they're a strong team. We know they rely on some few very, very good players. So we try to make some good matchups on their best players, Davide, Maestro, a couple of their handlers, put our best defenders on them, and I think that worked pretty well.
Yeah. We also noticed that you've got a few double-wide players and a British player, and Elliot from Skyd.
Yeah.
How did that come about, and how did that all work out?
Well, so I played in Fire last year. The Ragnarok squad was pretty small this year, so we thought we needed external players. So we got Alex on board, and given that Mess had played with double wide before, they didn't qualify. We thought it'd be suitable to ask them, and it all worked out, and they've done pretty great.
And kind of looking forward, obviously now you go up into the higher bracket, and we don't know who you're playing yet. But what are your sort of aims and aspirations for the rest of the tournament?
I mean, first I'll say we're really happy we made it to the top 16. I think this was our primary aim. Had some tough matches to get here, so I think from now it's no pressure games. We have everything to win, and we'll just go out with all the confidence. We have a good team, we have strong players, and I think with our team, I think if we hit our best day and any opponent don't hit their best day, I think we have a chance. So we'll just give it all we got.
Right, nice. Good luck, and I hope you do well in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with an interview with Elliot Trotter.
Skyd Magazine!
Skyd Magazine!
Skydy!
Meine Aufgabe ist dastehen und gut aussehen.
Es gibt Magazin Guatemalas!
Skyd Magazine.
Hello again. Elliot Trotter has been playing with Ragnarok as part of his Globetrotter project. Can you tell us more about it, Elliot?
Sure. So the project is called Ultimate Globetrotter, and what I've been doing is traveling around the world and joining different teams. The idea being I want to share with the world what that team is about, what their culture is about, what the location is about too. So the team I'm joining for this tournament, they've been gracious enough to let me practice with them, is Ragnarok from Copenhagen. So I went out to Copenhagen for a little while, practiced with the team, got to know them, hung out with them, lived with them, and got it all on camera too. The idea being I want to share what makes Ultimate, what makes the people that play Ultimate so great. So it's a little bit of a travel show, a little bit of a twist with sports and culture, a lot of Ultimate, and playing with Ragnarok has been an awesome experience. This game we just had against Bologna, something I really want to highlight is that playing against this team was a real privilege. They were spirited even when the game got physical, even when there were some calls. The discussions were, well, there were a couple longer ones, but it was generally not too negative. It was very strong, and I think that's a quality game for this stage, which is the World Championships.
But you guys ended up on the top winning the game, so where does it stop? What are the goals for this tournament?
I think the goals for Ragnarok are just to keep winning as much as we can, to see how far we take it. You know, I don't know that we're necessarily expecting to win a championship, but we want to fight for it. And any game that we get into, now we're in the round of 16, we want to get on to the next round and then the next one. So who knows where we will end up, but we really want to get there.
Is there like a particular experience from the tournament that you really enjoyed and that you would like to share with the viewers?
I think just getting the opportunity to play amazing teams like Bologna and meet all these teams from all over the world. Also to see some of the teams that I've played with on my travels, Magan from New Zealand, Auckland, as well as Juggernaut, aka the Heads of State from Melbourne, Australia. Seeing those guys again is fantastic. But really, that's sort of the spirit of this tournament, is a ton of amazing Ultimate players and amazing people coming together to celebrate this sport and share the way they play with each other. So that's what this is all about, and that's something I love.
Thanks for sharing that with us. This is the end of our coverage, and we're not going to have anything for you until
Can I say
tomorrow.
one more thing?
Oh, never mind.
I just want to say, hey, Mom and Dad. Okay.
Hi, Elliot's mom and dad. So we'll be back tomorrow with more games. Please check the schedule at skydmagazine.com. Thank you, Elliot.
Thanks, Rachel.